You want to count down again, or
Nah.
Delayed intro.
I started to press record. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 90 of Muscle Asylum Radio and episode 7 of our YouTube Muscle Asylum TV channel. Today, we have the original crew here. We are joined by Mick the Gift Galley, Chris Alpha Ethos Thomas, Jimmy the Fat Leb Sadiq, and today what we're going to do is a little bit something different. What we're going to do is preview our upcoming Arnold Qualifier state shows. So I have the competitors list here, and what we're going to do is just pick out the names that we know of the people that have already registered, and we might throw in a few names there that could be potentially dark horses who haven't even registered yet, and I'm not too sure if there are a lot out there that we might know of. I'm not too sure. One name I'm going to throw out there, Chris Alpha Ethos Thomas, is Timmy McKinnon. Is Timmy getting ready for this show or what?
No.
He's not.
No, and I'm not sandbagging. I had a conversation with him last night, and the other night, he's actually very happy just doing what he's doing. He's got a lot of shit on business-wise, so but he's in great shape, so I can sort of understand why people are asking. He looks phenomenal.
Yeah, well, he's probably in a lot better shape than a lot of the other guys out there at the moment, so he could easily hop on stage if he really wanted to. But all right, let's get stuck into it. We're going to talk about my state, New South Wales, first, and I've got 5 names here from New South Wales that have already registered, and I'm going to start off with the big Greek, Chris Cavallo. Now, Chris Cavallo, he's out to redeem himself. I think we can all agree there. He recently posted a pic that got shared on Muscle Asylum, a heavily filtered pic, but I think it's pretty safe to assume in that pic, it does look good. Doesn't matter how many filters he puts on there. You can't filter veins and size. So I'll start with you, Jimmy. What are your thoughts on Chris Cavallo, and how do you think he'll fare up against the bigger guys on stage in New South Wales?
he's in shape from the front. That was a big conjecture on stage on the page today. Whether he's matching from behind, well, that's always been his weakness from behind. So I get, what the fuck is that?
I just saw Chris's face.
Yeah, Tim. His ears were burning. No, but look. To be honest, even if he doesn't bring that same condition at the New South Wales show from the front, he's going to win. I don't think anyone will be competing at that show that will be able to come close to him mass-wise. The guy's as wide as a truck. So Arnold will be a different story. There's a few heavy hitters in the other states, Ross, Maloney, Jake, etc., that I don't think he can hang with, but New South Wales will take the show.
I don't think you guys all know, but he's actually working with Ahmed Ashkenani. Did you just know that?
No.
Yeah.
That's interesting, huh?
Well, Ahmed's promise to him was if he doesn't get him his pro card at these comps, he's going to bring him to Kuwait for 6 months, and he promises that he'll fill in all the gaps and get him his pro card at the Nationals. So, and he's happy to go. He's happy to go, Chris Cavallo. He's not holding anything back. So that'll be fucking interesting. What are your thoughts on him, Gally?
I mean, going off that picture, yeah, there's no doubt he was impressive. It was filtered, but nevertheless, it was still impressive. I think Chris has got a lot to make up for with. I mean, not his fault. He's not a judge, but the last comp they did, Chris's boy Timmy, that was Timmy's show. There was no doubt about it. Chris shouldn't have been the first place winner. He shouldn't have been second. Shouldn't have been third. So I think Chris has probably got a lot to prove, and he's obviously put his head down. It will be interesting, though. I mean, I don't know any other super heavies in there, so it looks like Chris will take it. But if this is my prediction, if Nick Jones doesn't make Classic, now he's got to get down to 82 kilos. He's currently 88, and Nick's shredded to the bone. If Nick doesn't get down to 82 and has to do the under 90 class, I could see Nick taking Chris out for the overall because Nick's head to toe flawless, condition-wise and symmetry. So that'd be a good matchup because 2 totally different physiques. But yeah, Chris copped that.
Do you think Nick will do both categories anyway? Mark, look at your list. Is he registered for 2 categories?
He's registered for 1 at the moment. So I don't
know.
think he's going to register for that second category until he can actually make weight.
Yeah. His whole thing is the classic division. Like he really wants to do well in that. So he's doing everything he can to push down to under 82, which will be hard. But it'd be interesting because obviously Chris copped a flogging on our forums today. He took it well, I think, with his comment back. But we'll wait and see. Still a few weeks left to see what he can do.
I think there were more positive comments than there were bad, and I think Chris has done well in, like you said, putting his head down and doing the work in the off season to make sure that he can come back and redeem himself. What are your thoughts, Mr. Alpha Ethos?
I'm a little bit upset that I missed all the kerfuffle. I didn't know what was going on, but the only reason I knew about Chris is I had a couple of conversations with Andre this week, and Andre said to me, he goes, he's looking impressive. Is Chris Cavallo? He saw him in the gym, and Andre's opinions, someone's opinion that I value. So I kind of took that pretty much at gospel, and Andre said he was very impressive in person and very large. He only estimated weight, and he said he could be somewhere between 110, somewhere around that range, maybe even a little bit heavier.
I think it's about 113, 114.
There you go. Well, Andre said he could be as much as 115, 116. That's what he'd said. So, but I did see the pic, but I only just sort of had a bit of a quick glance at it. So I'm upset that I missed all the commotion, though.
Nah, it was nothing special. Jimmy was on there. He was the worst one. You mentioned the next guy on the list, and it's Nick Jones. So Nick is obviously making his comeback from many, many years off the stage. Former world champion, and God knows how many titles he's won. He's won many Australian titles with both NABBA and the IFBB. Gully, you spoke a little bit about Nick. You mentioned that he's already in condition, and what I'm going to be doing too, I'm going to be throwing picks up as we go along, as we mention each person. Let's talk about Nick, and what are your thoughts on him? Do you think that he's had too long off, or do you think he can actually make a dent?
No, because even though Nick's had that 10 years off, and remember, I was on stage with him 10 years ago, and he looked amazing at 79, so he'll be a little bit heavier than that. But Nick's never stopped training in those 10 years. He's always eaten clean, like always. He's like Chris, our Chris. He always stays in shape, always eats clean. He's always on the ball. So someone who like that, they could easily pick it up 10 years later, and he has. And the photos I've seen, he's better than 2009. So this would be very interesting. You've got to remember Nick's polished from head to toe as well. And I noticed that he's doing some posing practice with Amy Fox. And Nick's a great poser, and you put that on top with Nick with Amy, it's going to be a deadly competition. I mean, Classic's a totally new division that wasn't around 10 years ago when Nick competed. He does have a classic look to his physique, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes. And I would love to see him do the weight class as well. Totally up to him, obviously, because I'd love to see him in the overall. Really love to see him up there against, obviously, Chris. I'd say Chris will be the heavyweight favourite, but whoever else is in there.
I don't think anyone's going to match Nick on his professionalism and his posing on stage. Yeah, he really is. Jimmy, what's your thoughts?
I'd like to see him in both categories too, mainly because if he's going to give the Arnolds a big nudge, I reckon he needs some stage time. Even you can practice posing as much as you want, but that time away from stage will take it out of him. So if he gets some poses under his belt at the New South Wales show, plus we'll look after him backstage, so he won't have nothing to worry about. So
make sure he's having some of that Nick concoction. He's backstage pre-workout. Get that in there.
Yeah, you've spoken to me about that before. I'm very keen to watch him do that. So now look, I'm very keen to see how he goes at the Arnold's. I think it's going to be a clean sweep for him, whatever he chooses to do at the New South Wales show. But the Arnold's will be a different ball game, especially against overseas people. So look, I'd love to see him win his pro card. And then see what he does from there.
What are your thoughts, Christopher?
Well, pretty much the same. Look, I'd love to see him make weight if that's a category that he's really sort of aiming for. But once again, Nick with that quality, what is it, Mick? 82 kilos he's got to get to? 82?
He's got to get to 82, and I think currently he's at 88. So he's got 6 kilos to drop in 3 weeks, which is doable. That's doable.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I hope he makes that, so he does the category he wants. But I would love to see him do the under 90s at 82 kilos as well. I mean, we all know what he looks like. So I think that Nick at 82 kilos would be devastating the under 90s as well. So I'd love to see him do both. I'd love to see him on stage as a performer, and he's an entertainer. He's worth the money to come and watch.
Yeah. I think you nailed it then too, Chris. I think for you, especially, Mark, with the New South Wales show, and you've had it with Justin in your last show, Nick's a good draw card. There's a lot of people. Nick's a big influence in this industry, and he has been for 20-odd years. So he'll have a lot of people coming there to watch him to see if he can make a good comeback after 10 years. It's a big gap.
Yeah.
No wonder Gretch has booked the holiday. He knows he's going to make some money at that. So
Timmy with the uppercut.
For those who don't know, before the show started, Mark was bragging about his 5-star first class holiday.
Shut up.
Around the world.
Right after the Arnold, how can it be?
Next up, we have Chase Tattersall. Now, Chase is a dark horse in my opinion. He keeps quiet. He's always been there. He's always been on stage. He's always coming good nick and has a really nice, pleasing physique. But he's slowly working his way up the ranks, I think. And I think this is the year where he's actually going to make his mark and get people to know exactly who he is. Christopher, we'll start with you. Chase Tattersall.
Yeah. Mate, I couldn't do the guy justice. I don't know enough about him. Someone was talking about him recently, saying how good he was, but that's it, man. I really can't add much, to be honest. So sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right. Very, very pleasing physique. Gally, do you know much about Chase, and have you seen pics of Chase?
I'm in the same boat as Chris. I don't, unfortunately. I have seen pictures of him, though, and he does have a quality physique. I'll give him that. So I guess it will come down to condition on the day. But, yeah, it'll unfortunately, I don't know a lot.
Jimmy?
Chase is good. I forgot about Chase competing. Is he doing classic or opens?
Opens. He's way too heavy now for classic.
Well, he's super tall.
Yeah, so he'll be in the super heavies.
So it'll be him versus Chris. So look, the thing about Chase is him and Chris have got totally different physiques. So if Chris don't show up, Chase can wipe the floor with him just based on his lines, and he's just a prettier dude, prettier body. So I don't know, that'll be close. That's good. That's some competition for Chris.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be good competition. Chase, yeah. Next up for New South Wales, Mahal Barak, everyone's favourite little Mexican. Now, Mahal's working with a coach from his hometown in Peru, I think. I'm not sure what his name is. Pablo Escobar. Fuck knows what his name is. But he's been working with this coach a couple of years, and his coach definitely got him to some of his best conditioning he's ever pulled off when he did the Mexico Super Show last year. Chris, you've coached Mahal in the past. What are your thoughts on Mahal, and how do you think he'll go?
He's a very, very complete bodybuilder. I saw him for the first time. I didn't know who he was. I saw him for the first time, but WBFF Jimmy, that show, the very first one ever, and I saw him backstage, and he was about probably 75 kilos, and he was just walking around back. Actually, Gretchen, you're with me. I remember this because I turned around and I said, that guy's going to win the overall. And you said, yeah, no kidding. So, and he won that show, and he's been very, very complete always. You know, he's I think probably a couple of times there's been a little bit of a conditioning question, you know, whether it's a last minute thing or whether it's because he looks to always be in shape early and by the photos and that. And then at the end, you know, and this is me being super critical. So, I mean, I want to state that as well. He maybe just missed the mark a little bit on a couple of occasions, but look, when he's very, very complete. I think when I coached him, he won the Aussies in that weight category that he was in. He's doing damage. Like, he's winning shows everywhere. And from what I've seen the other day, the photos he put up again, like his glutes look tighter than what they've ever looked. He looks bigger. And so some of the training videos he's got in the gym, like he seems to push a fair bit of weight around for a,
He's a
he's
strong
not
boy.
a, he's not a small guy, but still for a guy around that 90 kilo mark, he seems to be pushing some pretty good poundages around. So, man, he's dangerous. I mean, this guy is, he's a very complete person. I mean, I think there'd have to be someone pretty. He'd be doing under 90s, no doubt. So, I mean, there'd have to be someone pretty good to stop him in that category. That's my opinion. I think that well, there you go, Nick Jones and Mihail in the same category. There you go.
That's a good little battle.
That's a fantastic setup there, right there.
Gally, what's your thoughts on Mihail?
He's good. He's definitely progressed up the categories, the last few years. Like Chris said, under 75, he was under 80. Now he's in under 90s. So he's very, very heavily muscled. But yeah, I agree with Chris. I can't see, unless Nick does the under 90s, I'd say it's a safe bet he'll take it out. But if Nick does do it, it's two totally different physiques going up against each other. So it's just going to come down to what they judges prefer on the day, I think, because they are totally different.
Mihail does have not a slight, he's got a bad torn lat. But he hides it really, really well with his poses. He's worked on it a lot. And his lat is completely torn off. So it's noticeable with the rear double bicep, but he has learnt to pose to hide it well and create that illusion that it's still there. So
I wish he'd pose and hide his bung leg.
His bung leg?
His bung leg. He's got these. What's that? Which quad is it, Chris? We always kind of laugh about it. He poses this. I think he poses his right quad that he poses out from the front.
It poses the right quad forward. It looks more gnarly because of whether it's an injury there or whether it's a genetic thing. I don't know. I mean, but I know what Jimmy's talking about. Yeah, there's a difference there.
His leg's prettier. His left leg. His left leg.
Well, muchachos, Mihail, we wish you all the best. Concha de madre, yekula buta, granda tatas. Next up, another little Peruvian, John Paul Pearl, JP. So I got a soft spot for the JP, so I'm not going to say much, but he's won a shitload of titles in all the naturals federations, and now with the IFBB, he's won the Amateur Olympia. He's done it all. Good to see him back. He's working closely with Mihail, training with him also. What are your thoughts? I'll start with you, Gally. Little JP. He might not make it under 80, eh? So I think he will. I think he will, but there's a good chance that he could even be still under 90s. But I think he'll squeeze under 80 because I don't think him and Mihail will want to be in the same category.
JP's a little legend. He's been around for a while now, and I enjoy sort of catching up with him at shows and having a laugh and stuff. And he's another one. He's gone from under 70s, and now, like you said, if he's bordering on that under 80 mark, that's a big amount of muscle in that frame because he's shorter than me. That's a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
He makes under 80 class because he looks good. He's got good symmetry and structure. I don't think he'll be beat unless there's someone else you're not telling me about in the under 80s. And I think you're right. I don't think he'd want to go in the under 90s against his training partner and mate. It'd be good if they both got a win in each different category.
Chris, the last time you saw a little JP was probably at my Bucks party. So, what are your thoughts on JP, and where do you think he'll go? And so let's talk about the Arnolds too. We don't necessarily just have to isolate it to their state shows because we'll talk about the Arnolds at the end, I guess. Yeah, go on, Chris.
Well, he's a great guy. He's a great bodybuilder. He's always smiling, and he always loves to chat. And I've got a lot of time for him. So, mate, as Mick said, I'd like to see him under 80s. I think he'd be very hard to beat there. Look, once again, I'm a big believer in just getting in shape and just doing the category that you're absolutely best in. But for the two training buddies to be against each other, that'd probably be a little bit of a shame. Although, on a crowd point of view, probably pretty cool to watch, though.
Yeah. But I think what they'll be doing is trying to save it for the overalls, which will be fun at the same time.
That'd be good.
Jimmy?
Yeah, he's a freak. It's just toe-to-toe. Not many people have more muscle on him, especially on stage. He looks so much bigger than he is on stage and off stage. So I wish him all the best. He knows I'm a big fan. He's a cool dude. So under 80s, no one will touch him. So I think we've covered every category we've covered the clear-cut winner, in my opinion. So he's only all for New South Wales. I'm keen to talk about the big boys in the other states.
Patient fuck, isn't he?
Jimmy's moving the show along.
Remember those names because we're going to talk about them all at the end.
We might have to do part 2 of this show.
Nah, we'll be right. We're getting through it because New South Wales is the biggest state. We have
the better state.
We've got Queensland. Yeah. I've only got the one name that I recognise so far for Queensland, bodybuilding wise, because Queensland dominates with the bikini girls and every other category. That's where they draw their numbers. Bodybuilders over there, they're a little bit quiet this season, but we do have a New South Wales representative hopping over to Queensland to compete. I don't know if you know this guy, but his name is Andre Todaro. Now, Andre picked this state because it kind of worked out best for timing. He didn't want to leave it too long in between shows between, say, New South Wales and the Arnold. So Queensland's just a week before, so it's perfect for what he's planning on doing.
Plus he's got Brazil.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. So Andre's looking the best he's ever looked. And he called me today, and he's in high spirits. He just wanted to chat. And he's always friendly. My missus saw him at the gym the other day, and they said a friendly hello. And then one of his clients went up to talk to him, and Andre told him to fuck off, and they talked to him while he's training. so he's very up and down. But what do you, poor bastard? I'm happy he was sweet to my missus, but you said you spoke to him a few times this week, Chris. How do you think he's going to go? Because I see him training on a weekly basis. He's in a singlet. He's in the zone. He's got his bright orange shoes on. He's more focused than I've ever seen him before, and he doesn't have any negative distractions in his life whatsoever at the moment. So what are your thoughts on Andre? How do you think he's going to go?
Mate, I think he's going to go fantastic. I have spoken to him a lot. We've had some fucking amazing conversations over the last week or so. A lot of fun, and seemed to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours on the phone at a time with him. But spirit-wise, mate, and I haven't seen him like this before. Like he's got it going on. He's made a plan. He's eliminated everything that's going to distract him, and he's very, very happy. And you can tell that he's quietly confident too. You know, he apparently hasn't really changed his food all that much in this whole period, and the weight's just been coming off at a good steady state. So all in all, I don't know, in a prep phase, I don't think I've ever spoken to him and he's been this positive. So I'm excited. And on top of that, I'm so stoked he's coming up to the Gold Coast. So I'll get to spend some time with my mate as well and, watch him compete. So it's all good. Double thumbs up to the boy, Mr. Andre.
Jimmy.
Everybody that I have spoken to at the gym that's been to World Gym Penrith is a pretty good gym to go train at the weekends. It's about 3 hours away from everybody in civilization, so people make the trek out there because it's a good gym. Everyone that I've spoken to that's made the trek out there on the weekend has come back and said, I just saw Andre. It's fucking ridiculous. So, and that's literally at least 10 people over the last month.
You don't know 10 people. You don't know 10 people. You don't have 10 mates.
I didn't say that on my mate. They just come to talk to me.
Oh, how about yesterday? The day before, I was at that fucking Vines festival, and some random dude comes out and goes, "Bro, can I have a photo with you?" And I said, "Yeah, fuck, all right." And he took a photo and he goes, "I'm just going to send this to Jimmy. See you later." Did you get that photo? Did you get that photo?
Yeah, I saw him today.
Oh,
he goes, we look identical. He said, he thought that you were me, except you were shorter and smaller.
I don't believe that for a second. Gally, what are your thoughts on Andre?
We all love Andre. We miss him on this show, I must admit. I spoke to him probably 2 weeks ago, I think. And like Chris said as well, he's in a good spot. He really sounds like he's doing everything possible to be at his all-time best for this show. So I'm stoked for him. I won't be able to see him at the Goldie show, which sucks, but I'll definitely be at the Arnold's to see him there. And it'd be great, if all us boys get together and do something for him and cheer him on. We'll all be at the front and watch him. But I'm excited. I think Andre got rid of a few cobwebs last time, and now I think we're going to see the best Andre ever.
I'll be sending you pics from Queensland. Don't worry, Gully. I'll keep you posted when you.
Actually, I think I'm going to fly back at that stage, so that's bad timing.
All right, we're going to go. Look, I'm more excited about Vixx than anyone, so I'm just going to leave Vixx for the end. I'm going to go to WA. A guy making his comeback, we all know him personally, but a lot of people don't know that he's actually had a pretty good bodybuilding career, and that's Brendan Sacker. He competed a while back as a super heavyweight at the Nationals, and can't even remember if he won or he placed second. I'm not too sure.
But second, like 2012.
Yeah, but he has making his comeback, so I wanted to give him a quick mention, and I know he's working with Logan. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Brendan Sacker, Jimmy?
He'll be in shape. If you saw his head that he posted today, he looked like a cell already. So he's going to be in shape. The only knock on Brendan, and he knows this, everyone knows this, he's tall. So I don't think he's stopped training since 2012, so he'll be bigger. So who knows? Look, as long as he comes in shape, he's going to be hard to beat, especially in WA. How many people are registered for WA? And he's also told us that he's gone in with realistic expectations. He's doing it to promote his gym. He's doing it just to create a little bit of buzz. So, look, it's a win-win regardless of what happens for him, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Yeah, like I can't wait to actually see him against the big boys at the Arnolds. I think he's gonna.
Yeah. He's a big dude. He's big.
Yeah. He's got a big structure, wide shoulders, small waist. So
yeah, what are your thoughts, Chris?
He's a big guy. The last time I saw him compete in person, I was backstage and watched he did an ABBA show. I'm not sure which one it was. A few years back, Mick, you might remember. He won the overall. I'm pretty sure. Might have been around 2010, that vicinity, maybe 9, 10, somewhere there. Maybe might be. Yeah. So he surprised me. I didn't know a lot of him back then, but he was very big. So and he I'm pretty sure he won the overall. So, mate, if he's kept on training, he's going to be pretty large. So, it'll be good to see. And good on him.
Yeah. It's going to be good to see him back on stage. Another guy I'm going to make mention to is Anthony Novak. Now, Anthony's won many, many bodybuilding titles, and he has moved on to Classic Physique, I think, at last year's Arnold. Was it last year's Arnold he did Classic Physique?
Yeah.
The thing I think that makes Anthony stand out above anyone else in his categories is posing. He's a very confident poser. There's no one else on stage when Anthony's posing in his eyes and his head. So I think he's going to do well, and he's going to make a serious dent in his state and in the Arnolds again. Do you want to quickly talk about Anthony? Give us your thoughts, Gally.
Yeah, Anthony's good. I like Anthony a lot. He's a good bloke. But he's got very, very nice muscle bellies, nice shape. Very good poser, and he does come in shape. So I think I've been watching a lot of him, and Gretch, too, he loves his show, so we give him a shout out. He's always talking to show up, which is great. But he's just what the classic division looks for. He's just got that look. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes in WA, but more importantly, who he's going to match up with at the Arnolds. So I'm not sure what class. He probably would be in with Nick, so that's going to be a good class.
Yeah. Chris?
Once again, same as the boys, good physique, it's flowing. I first came across him Omara Classic. I can't remember if it was 14, 16. Competed there. He's a very respectful guy. He's been polite, and actually came to Thailand, seen him in Thailand a couple of times as well. So he's constantly progressed, good poser. He'll do well. I think last time he may have done the weight class as well as Classic as well. I think he did both categories. So probably knowing him, he probably will do the same again, I would say. I'd have an each way. I mean, I think probably going forward he's probably suited to Classic because he does pose well. I'd have a shot each way if I was him still.
Yeah, definitely. Jimmy, do you have anything to say about Anthony?
Yeah, well, back in the day he got lost in the weight classes just because of his structure. He's not the biggest dude, but he fits right into Classic. So if he grows into his physique, into his weight in the Classic, who knows what he can do? He's got a perfect physique for it.
Yeah. All right. Next guy I'm going to mention has been spoken about with the with not the likelihood, but the chance of him possibly walking away with a pro card at the Arnolds, and that is James Newcombe. Now, James will one day be a great 212 pro, in my opinion. He will one day. Whether he's there yet, I'm not too sure, but he definitely has potential to just keep growing and keep getting better, and he will, in my head, be one of the greatest bodybuilders that Australia's ever produced. He's young, isn't he? He was very... Hey?
He's young.
He is young. That's another thing too. He's very, very young. So he was very unlucky to not win last year, in my opinion, in that under-90s class. He probably could have been slightly harder, but that's about it. There's not much to fault the guy. Gally, what's your thoughts on James Newcombe? I love his physique. I reckon he's a little mini Lee Priest. What are your thoughts?
You know what? I was just about to say pretty much the same thing. The guy's a little... He's morphing into this freak. Like every time I see a new photo of him, he put a back double bicep picture up the other day, and I had a second look at it to think, was that James, or was it a picture of a pro that he liked or something like that? The guy's looking nuts. I think you're right. I think maybe it's just that little bit more refinement, which will come. There's no doubt he's going to be a pro at some stage, whether or not it be this year, end of the year, or next year. He is going to get his pro card, and he's going to be one to watch in the 212s. You got to remember, a lot of these 212 pros are retiring, so there's going to be a new crop of guys soon, and I honestly think James will be up there.
Yeah. I would love to see James Newcombe up against Aaron Pilates, side by side. I think it'll be a good competition. I don't think Aaron could beat James easily, even now.
It'd be a tough one. Yeah, it'd be a tough one.
Yeah.
Again, slightly different looks as well. It would honestly come down with those two, who's going to get that super hard conditioning.
What are your thoughts, Christopher?
He's definitely one of the best prospects that's come around in a long time, I reckon. So, man, he just keeps progressing quickly. Like your boy said, definitely going to be a pro. Definitely going to be a good 212 pro, and when he does, he'll do some damage at some point too. So, I hope, once again, like all these guys, I hope they just rock up in shape and they're all at their very best, so that everyone can be judged, at their very best. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, good luck to you, James. You're a good bloke, and we all wish you the best. And I definitely think you're going to do some damage. Hopefully, you don't end up on stage against another Ahmed Ashkenani at the Arnolds, because we don't know who's coming from overseas. We're never going to know until the day of registrations, because they don't register in advance. They rock up on the day. We'll move to Victoria now. South Australia, I don't have many names that I recognise in South Australia, so we won't talk too much about there. So we'll go to Victoria.
In South Australia, is it a guy who won the nationals last year?
No, well, if he is, he hasn't registered yet. So he could be a dark horse. He could be one of those dark horses that hasn't registered late. I thought...
he hasn't got social media, so he might not have the internet, so he might have to rock up with that.
Yeah. Maybe he did that. You're talking about Arta. For the people that don't know, Arta won the Nationals last year and shocked everyone.
Yeah.
But in Victoria, we do have two people registered that I think a lot of people are excited about. I'm going to start with Mr. Ross Maloney, another good bloke, friend of everyone here. My favourite thing about Ross is he can keep putting size on, but keeping his waist so tiny. He has an amazing classical physique for a guy that big. His chest keeps getting bigger, his shoulders keep getting bigger, his arms keep getting bigger, his waist stays tiny. He can hit those classical poses. Ross was very unlucky to not win his pro card the year. I think it was Nathan James Williamson won the pro card. Was it them two up against each other? Yeah. He was very, very close. They were close, and he would have placed second surely in that overalls lineup. Christopher, what's your thoughts on Mr. Roscoe?
Pony Maloney, as I used to call him. Hey, he's a talent, He's a master of coming in late as well. Like, you just sort of, that's the thing that cracks me up about him. You watch him and you just think, you're leaving it too late, Ross, and then all of a sudden he just starts coming in really quickly, So it's a big physique. He's heavy, and as you said, it's got good lines. He poses well. He's always going to be dangerous. If he gets in shape, and I mean in shape, like really hard. He's going to be tough to get round as well. Hey, it's a very, very flying physique for a big guy, as you said. So
he normally works with Dennis James. I'm not too sure if he's working with Dennis James again this comp. Does anyone know?
He always has, so I'm not sure. He hasn't said much, but he's just got a real good casual vibe about him as well. I just like the way he goes about his business. So yeah,
he doesn't get involved in any online drama. But he's online. Like he doesn't hide. He doesn't hide away from social media. He's there, but he just doesn't involve himself in any of the shit. He's just chilled, like you said. It's like he's always stoned, maybe. Not too sure. Gally, what are your thoughts on Big Ross?
Ross is dangerous. Ross is real dangerous. Exactly what Chris said. I think it was the last maybe week and a half, and the photos were starting to go up, and I'm like, all right, here he comes. He was noticeably different from picture to picture. So I don't know. He's going to create a lot of problems because he's got that massive frame. He's got that small waist, like you said, and he's got that classic look to him. For being a super heavyweight, he's got a very good classical look. I'm pumped to see him. I think he's in Melbourne. He's found his feet, and he's very, very happy at Doherty's Brunswick. So his training is going next level, and he's got a few good training partners. So I think this will be the best Ross.
Yeah, he trains alongside our Teeth a lot too, so he helped him a lot getting him ready for his pro-show not recently. Jimmy, Ross Maloney.
Ross is a lot bigger in real life than he looks like in his photos.
Yeah.
He looks big. Don't get me wrong, he looks big in photos, but in real life, he's big. So, and he's really tall. So, look, next to Jake, I think if they are in the same shape, I think Ross could overpower him. They're not going to be very. They're not going to be very different in terms of size. I think Jake might be a little bit more complete than Ross, only because Ross is a lot taller. But either in the same neck, a bigger guy will always beat a smaller guy. They look the same. So it's going to be close. Very exciting.
Well, you made mention to the next guy and the last guy that I want to talk about, and that is Jake Nickopolis. I fucked it, eh? How do you say it, Chris?
Nickopolis.
Oh, I said that first.
You said it right the first time.
It rolls off the tongue.
Nickopolis.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I said that the first time. I thought there was another ololo or oppa or something in there. Now, we've spoken about Jake. Everyone knows who Jake is. He's the guy eating pizza and still looking big and lean. Everyone's excited about Jake making his second return to the IFBB Pro League stage. He did win the overalls at the Vixx last year, at the Nationals it was Arnold's last year. It was a year ago now. A year ago. Yeah, it was a year ago because he didn't do the Arnold's. That's right. So, yeah, he pulled out because of personal reasons for the Arnold's last year, and now he's about to make his comeback and make sure that he comes in much better condition than he did last time, working under a new coach, completely different mindset, completely different attitude, and he looks freaky. And now I left Jake to...
training himself?
What?
Isn't he training himself?
No, he's got someone looking over him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I left Jake till last because he is my favourite to take out the pro card, and that's if we don't get any wild cards from overseas coming and freaking everyone out and stealing our Aussie pro card again, once like they have before many times in the past. But I don't see anyone touching Jake. That's my personal opinion. I know Ross is a big guy, and I know that Ross is going to come in his best condition ever, and I think it's going to be between them two, and it's going to be very close. But Chris, I'll go to you. Jake, what are your thoughts on Jake, and where do you see him? Do you see him as the favourite to win their pro card at the Arnold's from the Aussies we know competing?
If he gets in shape, I think his density is something that is probably unmatched. I think that's what it is. He looks freaky thick. He's obviously found his groove after, he wasn't happy with the last outing, even though he looked good enough to win the show. He's a lot fuller. He's a lot more dense. That's the freakiness of him. He's got muscle everywhere. He's big through the legs. He's big through the glutes. He's big in the back. He's massive arms. Chest is stupid. So it's true, man. Like I think him in shape. He's probably the one that people need to beat. That's it. So once again, I hope these guys get in shape at their best, and because it's lining up. I mean, once again, Maloney and him, two different physiques. How good is that going to be to watch? So
yeah, up against Chase Tattersall, Chris Cavallo. They're all different physiques. They're all super heavyweights, and all four of them are all different physiques. Gully, what are your thoughts on Jake? He did message me before and say, tell Gully that I will be allowed to have a photo with him after the show this year.
He messaged me that a week ago. I don't know if you're pulling my leg or not. But
no, I am pulling your leg. I just made that up. Did he really message you that, did he?
Actually, I shouldn't say I'll screenshot. Jake won't send me a message ever again. We did have a laugh about that about a week ago because I put a picture up of, what was it? I think it was a picture of, I was at an ATP booth a couple of weeks ago at a CrossFit Games, and Jake goes, oh, geez, I better not get in that. Oh, imagine if I was in that photo or something, reminiscing a year ago to what happened with...
your best
yeah,
Anyway, what are your thoughts on Jake? How do you think he'd go? Do you have him as your favourite to win the overalls?
I do, and I'm along the lines of Chris. I think the dense look to his physique, a much improved look to Jake's physique from last year, and he looked great last year. Let's he won, he came and did what he had to do, but I think Jake was disappointed. I think a lot of us were a little bit maybe expecting a bit more from Jake, his comeback, and I think he's going to deliver now. That said, it's going to be tough between him and Ross, because Ross is freaky. And they've got 3 weeks between the Vixx and the Arnold. So those placings, they could flip-flop. Who knows? I think it comes down to who wants it the most right now, because this is probably going to be, again, we don't know who's coming from overseas, so let's just go on the people we know now. This is going to be for the pro card at the Arnolds. It'll be out of those two guys, with us not knowing who's coming from overseas. They're the best guys we have at the moment.
Yeah, I'd put them two up there alongside probably James Newcombe.
And James.
I think James Newcombe will take the under-90s and be up against one of them, and then it'll be like a Flex Lewis versus Phil Heath type battle on stage.
I think now you said that. I think James does have a Flex Lewis look to his physique, doesn't he?
Yeah, fucking hope he does. Yeah. Especially from behind.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I don't know why. What? Don't do that shit with your eyes, man. You look like a fucking serial killer.
Like what?
When you open your eyes like that, you're fucking ugly enough as it is. And you do this shit with your eyes where you look like a serial killer.
Do you want me to fall asleep?
No, because your snoring will be fucking that loud.
Look, if Jake is in his best shape ever, he will win his pro card. He's already competed on the world stage and beat people on the world stage. So this isn't really different. Obviously, it's a different federation, but he's been here before. So all he's got to do is be in his best ever shape, and I think he'll win the pro card.
Yeah. Well, he's my favourite so far. But like I said, we don't know who's coming from overseas. We don't know what other monsters there are in Australia lurking in the swamps that haven't registered yet. So, look, it's going to be an exciting few state qualifiers, and I think it's going to be an exciting Arnold's. Chris, you're coming to New South Wales, so we're going to catch up for dinner with Jimmy.
Chris. Yeah.
Oh, good. I was talking about this today with someone.
Yeah, all booked and sorted. So yeah.
And I'll be there in Queensland too, and in the Melbourne. So
are we allowed to talk about girls on this show?
Yeah.
I just sent a message to the group text in if you want to read it, but can we mention someone, Chris?
Make mention. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's
shut up, Mark.
I'm fucking about to say it. I was about to pump it up.
Go on, let's do it. That's all right.
Chris.
Mark always wants the spotlight.
No.
Mark always wants the spotlight.
I'll log off. Go, Chris.
Well, I put the pressure on. Well, look, I mean, we'll have her on the show in the next coming weeks anyway. But it's hard to ignore Rach White and arguably the best female athlete this country's got. So I think that there's going to be as much attention on her competing as there is with anyone else. And to say I'm excited, as a coach and as a friend is an understatement. I mean, this woman is going to bring the house down. Have no illusions about it. There is no one that can match the proportions of this person, the bellies, the size of the joints. She's just a freak in the nicest possible way. and that's it.
Talk a little bit about Rach, because a lot of people that don't know Rach don't know where she's come from. So she's obviously been a professional in another federation, making the switch over to the IFBB Pro League. She will be moving into the physique class. Have you already mentioned that?
Yeah, no, but she will. Yeah, that's what the goal is. So yeah, look, she won a WBFF Pro card a couple of years back. You know, I was obviously it's a pleasure to coach someone like that with that sort of ability. And we won. She won the World Championships of WBFF. And look, she won that comfortably. She was all class, as she always is. And I suppose probably the biggest thing is that, you know, without trying to sound condescending to anyone else, is that, you know, that show, to win that show, we held her back. You know, we held her back from getting as lean as potentially she could. You know, we didn't carb her up because she'd be too big. She didn't pump up because we didn't want any veins on her. And she took it out. So I suppose the excitement now is that, you know, you've got the potential to chase condition that she's never chased before or actually been able to because of the criteria. Something special is happening. This woman she's special.
I think a lot of people that know her and a lot of people that are fans of Rach are going to be very excited to see her on the state show. But on that big stage at the Arnolds, I think she's going to definitely be a major draw card and a good representative to all female competitors in this country too, because she's a great chick. She, there's not a bad bone in her body. So she's friendly to everyone who meets her, and she's always at the ATP stand talking to all of her fans and getting photos. And yeah, she's a genuinely good person. So it's going to be good to really good to see her. So I know you want to say something, Jimmy. Go on.
I want to ask Mick, looking forward, past the Arnold, could you realistically see her on the Olympia stage this year?
This year. Does she get an automatic qualification if you win the? No. You don't.
No, she's got to do another show.
Yeah, no. If she's got it in her to keep going and do another comp coming up, I definitely can see her in there for sure. She's got that look. There's no doubt about it. She's got the structure. I mean, we all know. We've all been, you know, we've seen these top athletes. She's got that look about her. She's got that fresh muscle as well. You know what I mean? It's just a look that a lot of people. Yeah, everything's there, mate. And like with Chris too. Chris and I have been with ATP for a long, long time, and so has Rach. And she is the best ambassador that you could possibly imagine. She goes out of her way. Yeah, I can't speak highly enough for her. I think she's unreal for what she does. So yeah, no, Jimmy, absolutely, I can see her on that stage.
We will get a few girls on the show and have a quick rundown of all the female athletes competing at the Arnolds too. The reason why we don't normally do it is because we don't really know them too well enough to be able to critique their physiques or give our honest judgment. But we do know Rach, so this is why we did mention her on the show.
You don't really need to critique her physique either. There's nothing wrong with it.
Just no, Rach is awesome, and then
that's an easy one.
Yeah, that Jimmy asked that potentially, like that's 100%. This woman is good enough. Like, you know, I think, you know, and shout out to another lady who's a fantastic physique competitor, is Leanne Temnick, and you know what she achieved. You know, she pretty much won a show in the first year, and then was on the Olympia stage as well. You know, and you know, she's a sensational athlete, and you know, I believe 100% that Rach White can duplicate that achievement. No doubt about it in my mind.
Is that where's the headspace with it? Obviously, she's come back to the IFBB because she wants that Pro League card. So obviously, that's where she sees herself sooner or later, isn't she, on that Olympia stage? Or
no, look, I'd say so. Yeah, but the beauty of Rach is she's very much in the moment. She's very poised, and the biggest thing anyone who knows is she's very, very humble. And I think that I'm not going to sit there and say that she doesn't know how good she is. I think she is aware, but she's one of those ones that's very, very intact as well. So I'm pretty sure she's just keen to tick them off one at a time. But, you know, I'm pretty much told her what I think. And what I think is pretty much what I've said here. And she knows my opinion. She knows what I think and how much I think of her, and she can do it. There's no two ways about it. This woman she's the female real deal.
Definitely. Nah, all excited to see Rach compete. I want to thank you boys, obviously, for coming on the show once again. I want to wish a massive good luck to all the competitors that we mentioned and everyone else that we haven't mentioned that has registered and has committed to doing the upcoming shows. We look forward to seeing you all on stage, and we do hope that there's a lot of people that are going to hop on stage that we don't know of that we will know of by the end of these competition series, and we'll hear a lot more of as the years come on. But like I said, congratulations. Thanks for listening to the show. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button down that corner. I think it's under Chris. We'll see if I nailed that. I was completely opposite the last time I tried that. Completely opposite. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you share this post, like it, do whatever you can to give our fellow competitors all the publicity they deserve. Thanks again. Thanks for listening on the radio show. Thanks for watching on YouTube. And we'll catch us all later, boys. West side.
Peace.
Bye.
See you later.